Welcome to the real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. The real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. And now your hosts, Bill and Lee Howard.
We're back. I didn't do a hello.
I know.
Because it was a special one. We're back, so I had to do a we're back.
Season 222.
We're not on season 222.
Oh no, that was
it was
Echo.
a monster
That was
truck
Echo, yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yay.
cool. How's everybody doing out there? Hopefully everybody's been watching a lot of good movies over the summer.
Yeah.
We have. I have. I don't know if Lee has.
I've been
I haven't
doing my
talked
best.
to Lee since we recorded. I just, outside of this podcast, I don't really talk to him.
No. I block him on all social media.
Yeah, we're blocked.
Hey, how'd the listeners like that new theme song? Just kidding. Jay's like, no.
Yeah, we know a guy who used to run no, I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so we're back. We're glad to be back. It's a little delayed thanks to, real life getting in the way and all
just
that crap.
things that you guys have been so busy with work and stuff.
Yeah.
Just life and...
Yeah, we didn't come back because of you guys. You guys have been, the listeners have been so busy that we didn't come back.
Yeah.
It's your own fault.
Like, do you guys want to hear us talk about movies? And they're like, I'm on vacation. Can you just fucking come back in October?
That's right.
Like,
so
sorry.
anyway, we're back, and appropriately so, in October, which is one of our favorite months because we're both horror movie fanatics, Halloween fanatics. So in the spirit of Halloween, we're not going to talk about horror today.
I know.
We thought, in case any new listeners are coming in at this point in the podcast, or for you folks who've been listening from the beginning, we thought we'd do this little questionnaire that I found online. I would give credit to whoever did it, but it's the internet, so who knows where it originated. But it was a series of questions relating to movies that I thought were really insightful, and I thought it would also be a good way to just discuss some movies that maybe you guys out there listening might be like, ooh, I've never seen that, never heard of that one, I'm going to check it out. So it's like a big Q&A recommendation episode.
Yeah, and I think it kind of mirrors nicely our first episode from season 1.
Yeah.
Where it was like the getting to know the Howards and stuff. Now we're just going to dig deeper.
Yeah. So did you want to just dive right into this?
Yeah, so it's a list that you said you pulled from the Webernet.
Yeah.
And it's good because it's not just like favorite actor, favorite actress, because we also already did that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I picked this one, because it had some really interesting movie questions.
Yeah.
So, of course, it does start off a little predictable with the first question is, what's your favorite movie of all time? This is always hard.
It is hard.
Because I do have like a handful of favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So I tried myself to think what is consistently the one that I tend to refer to the most.
Right.
So I went with Psycho.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be tough. Like I could pick
It's so
Raiders,
there's
I
too
could
many
pick
like
The Shining,
favorites.
Like,
It's hard to pick just
but
one.
But I think Psycho, like Hitchcock, is definitely my favorite filmmaker of all time. So I think it's only appropriate that my favorite movie of all time should be one of his. And Psycho, for me, frame to frame, is a perfect movie. So, I'll pick Psycho.
I haven't seen Frame to Frame. Is it good?
Yeah, it's
Is
good.
it better than Psycho?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. When the frame is in the shower.
Oh my God.
It's very similar. Yeah.
For me, same thing where it's like, and I've said this before, because like the first
Can I predict?
You'll get it, but yes.
Okay, White Chicks.
Obviously. Yeah. No, it's not.
No?
White Chicks 2, even
Jay's.
whiter.
That's Jay's. That's yours, right, Jay?
Hands down.
Yeah. Hands down. Okay.
No, I would just, the first thing that always pops into my head is Shawshank.
Right.
Because it's a perfect movie.
I guess that is what I'd pick if I were guessing yours.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that I can watch over and over, and it's like the end still always makes me cry. It's just, I mean, again, I'm sure there's others that are also my favorite movie of all time. There's probably 10 of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But I think for whatever reason, Shawshank always jumps to my brain first.
Yeah. I'm a big, we were talking about Letterboxd once, and I love Letterboxd. And I love watching their little videos on the red carpets and stuff when they talk to people or when they talk to fans
I
at
love
festivals
that.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But it's funny that whenever they ask for the 4 favorites, people are always like, oh, what do you ask me that for? It changes all the time. And I'm like, at some point, you got to stop saying that at the beginning of when people ask you your 4 favorites. We know they change. Just give us your 4 favorites today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It is hard to pick that. So.
Super, yeah.
But Shawshank, yeah, I'll never fault
so-
it. It's
it's
a
just
perfect
so
movie
good.
too.
It's about hope.
And another perfect movie that bombed,
I know, right? Isn't
which
that
I
crazy?
don't get. But it just goes to show that you can never predict what the box office is going to do.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So, the second one is best script.
You know, it's funny because at first I was going to be like, I don't know, Shawshank again, but it's like,
Lee's answer to every question is Shawshank. What movie do you hate the most? Has to be Shawshank.
yeah, I love it and I hate it. Because I was like, oh, Jesus, I don't know. That's a really good question. And then it's like, for a lot of these, because I just couldn't immediately go, oh, this, I'm like, I'm going to go onto the old Google and just put like best screenplays ever.
Yeah.
And then just kind of ones that jump out to me.
Yeah,
and I'm
and
like,
see if you go, oh, yeah, right.
Right. I was just like, oh, Fargo.
Fargo's a great.
Yeah, and it's
Great
crazy
script.
because I remember buying, and this is like a credit to the actors too, but I remember buying the script at like Chapters or
I
whatever.
still have it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And it's like,
I
as I,
think
was
you
reading
bought it for me.
I did?
I think you bought
Oh, maybe.
it for me.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's bananas that like especially with like William H. Macy, every and
yeah.
ah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a good
that's,
script.
Well, I'll go do a lot check count then.
And the funny thing, Coen Brothers in general, beautifully intricate scripts.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember hearing somebody from Fargo interviewed and them saying, like, you know, how much of the way you were talking was improvised? And they're like, every is scripted by the
Totally.
Coen Brothers, which is nuts.
It's incredible, yeah. I wrote Fargo. I wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind because I'm like, holy shit, that is also like an incredible, like, how does anybody...
I have to rewatch that because I've only seen it once.
Oh, wow.
And I don't recall it really. It didn't really stick with me.
Right.
So I might
Funny
have to...
because of the memory.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
I approached it from a similar point of view, but I kind of thought, what movie was I most struck
Right.
by dialogue? And strangely enough, the one that came up for me that I think is one of the best scripts ever written was When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, right. Okay.
Nora Ephron's a genius anyway, and I still think it's odd that people think her best script is Sleepless in Seattle.
Right. Maybe it's just because that was like, I don't know if it was her biggest hit or whatever, but it's
might
like the
have
one that
been.
people just kind of go to when
Like
they think
that and You've Got Mail are probably her two
Right.
biggest hits. But
And she wrote White Chicks, right?
yeah, and
think
White
so.
and White Chicks, yeah. But When Harry Met Sally, not only can I recite the whole thing, but it's got, for me, watching When Harry Met Sally is like listening to a song. Like
Right.
it has a beat to it.
Right.
The way they talk and the way things roll off their tongues. It's a brilliant, brilliant script.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's funny because I know there's ones that I'm not thinking of that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
of course. And I know that there's movies that I've been watching and I was just like, you know, like the fucking dialogue in this is amazing or whatever, but I forget. And then I'll think
Yeah.
about them when I'm driving home, of course, and be like, fuck.
And then I guess it was also the kismet of having that particular set of actors reading her lines.
Yeah.
Because come on, that whole cast, Bruno Kirby in that, just
I need to give that a rewatch. It's been a
pee
little
my
while for me.
pants listening to his dialogue. When they're at the batting cage and Billy Crystal is talking about how he doesn't want to have sex with Sally, that they're just friends. And then he says, I can tell her anything. And Bruno Kirby's like, you can tell her things you can't tell me. And Billy Crystal's like, yeah, like the other night, I had sex with this woman and it was so good, she meowed. And Bruno Kirby goes, you made a woman meow? And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can tell these sort of things to her. And then Billy rambles on for a minute. And then the camera goes back to Bruno Kirby and his face is just puzzled and it's all quiet. And then he goes, you made a woman meow? It's just so classic. It's so good. It's so
R.I.P.
good.
Bruno
Anyway,
Kirby.
Bruno Kirby's genius. But anyway, okay. So next one is favorite poster.
This is a hard one too.
I had a prediction for you.
I bet you're right.
The original Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was going to say part 2.
Oh, part 2.
I used to,
Interesting.
there's some, I mean, I love the original Elm Street. It's so iconic and stuff, but there's just something, I don't know about part. I mean, obviously, part 2 has like I love part 2. That was the movie that got me into horror.
2's probably my favorite poster too.
I love the design of it. I love I don't know. There's like a crow in the what, and it's like that's not part of the movie, but it's just the
whole composition of that poster is amazing.
So
the glove is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
like
so huge and
it was just
menacing.
Such a cool, scary poster, and you could literally say like any Drew Struzan, because I mean he's like a god, like as an artist myself.
We're looking at one right now as we sit here in my home theater. First Blood.
The First Blood one, yeah. Like his art, like literally almost any Drew Struzan art it's just incredible. It's just so iconic.
Yeah.
There's so many. I was like even Googling like best movie posters. I was like, oh, that one. Oh, that even like the original Halloween poster is amazing. It's so...
I had a hard time because I'm a huge Struzan fan. So I thought at first my pick was going to be a Struzan, and it ended up not being one.
Okay.
But the one I did pick is also in front of us. It's Richard Amsel's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That one's amazing too.
There's a lot of Raiders posters, and for you out there that might look them up, the one that I'm talking about is the one where he's holding the whip over his shoulder, and there's a little scenes at the bottom. That poster, especially being a designer of posters now, that poster does a lot of things that I love. It has an image in a square, and then the text in the white part of the poster, which I love. I think it's the best representation of Harrison Ford's face as Indiana Jones that's ever been put on a poster. That's saying a lot because there has been some Struzans there and stuff too that are great. Yeah. The Temple of Doom poster where he's standing, the full body.
I thought about that one
too. It's great. But if you look at that poster, the Richard Amsel one, the detail in his eyes, I love that you can still see pencil marks.
I love that too. I've always, like, again,
Struzan always has that.
I love that you can see like the pencil marks and stuff. Sometimes when I feel like I'm kind of in an artistic rut, I'll look at some of those posters and I'll zoom in on arbitrary corners and stuff just to look at some of the line work and stuff.
Amazing.
And like, oh my God, yeah. There's just so many good ones, and I kind of miss the days of like painted posters and stuff.
Yeah, they're still around. They're just not as common.
Yeah.
Next one is I'll watch it someday.
Right.
So, okay, I want to hear what yours are.
I struggled at first.
Put 2.
I struggled at first because I'm like, what have I not seen? It's a weird thing to think about because it's hard to pinpoint. Like, what have I not seen? And it's like the only thing that I thought of was like Hammer horror movies.
You've never seen any Hammer
I don't think
movies?
so.
Really?
And I don't know why. It's just, there's always movies that kind of just escape you, and it's like, I'll watch them later.
You love them, especially being a fan of Universal horror movies.
And I love the Universal ones.
I've got a 5-pack. You should take it home with you.
It's like, I maybe at one point have seen Christopher Lee Dracula, possibly. Yeah. But I'm not even 100% sure. And I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it.
That's interesting.
Such
a hater.
I am a hater.
You're a Hammer hater.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm a Hammer. I'll get to you later.
I put a couple on mine. I put a classic and a newer one.
Okay.
Well, newer, relatively speaking. So I've never seen Sunset Boulevard, which movie fans are always talking about being this seminal movie. There's a lot of classics.
Same.
I've seen a lot of classics, but there's a lot of big classics. I'm not usually a fan of a lot of the big stuff. Like when a lot of film nuts talk about John Cassavetes movies or Ingmar Bergman movies.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I've seen a few of those and they don't do anything for me.
I don't think I've seen them either. And I just
Francois Truffaut, everybody always talks about his movies. I watched a couple. They didn't do much for me. I love his acting in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But so Sunset Boulevard is a huge movie that came to mind that I've never seen. And then a newer one was Team America.
Oh, World Police.
I've never seen Team America. And people always seem to rave about Team America.
Jay's face.
But
it's... Oh my God.
Like I was a South Park fan for the first few years or whatever, and then I lost interest.
I saw it in the theater.
And I like their sense of humor, but I just, I've never seen it.
It's Trey Parker and Matt Stone, so obviously it's so like not PC.
Yeah.
And it's, it's sometimes it's funny, like you rewatch old movies and it's like, ooh, does that hold up? Probably not. And it's like, of course this one doesn't hold up. But it's also like, that's kind of the point of, that's South Park, right? It's like, it's pushing fucking boundaries, whatever, this and that. It's like, you laugh at how wrong it is.
Right.
And it's like, holy fuck, it is so funny I haven't seen it
I
for
think it's
probably
I think it's
15
maybe my
years.
dislike of marionettes that makes me not watch it.
I get that. It's a real crazy movie. That's a good one.
I've been a part of many protests against marionettes.
You hate them. Yeah,
really
that NSYNC video, you're like, don't even act like a
if
marionette.
there's any marionettes out there listening,
bye.
you can just turn this off because I don't want you listening. Okay, next one is big
Biggest
personal impact.
I think, well, I kind of mentioned it. I kind of have two in a way for different reasons. Nightmare 2, I think, is probably because it set me on the path of loving horror, even though it's like, I mean, we watched like the hilarious House of Frightenstein.
Yeah.
So it's like we always liked monster stuff. I ate Count Chocula. Ooh, that just reminds me.
But it was your first adult horror.
But yeah, it was. That made me love it because it's like some stuff like the Salem's Lot miniseries I saw when I was like 5 and it scared the fuck out of me. But yeah, for whatever reason, it flipped that horror loving switch. So I think that had probably the biggest impact. And then just as far as seeing movies for certain or viewing movies in a certain way, True Romance had a big impact on me.
Right.
Because, I can't remember when it came out. The early 90s? I kind of forget now.
94, I want to say, but I could be wrong.
That sounds...
Might be 91, 92. Yeah. Actually, I think it's 92.
Yeah, I think it was earlier. Yeah, for sure. Because I was early in high school.
Yeah.
And it might sound kind of goofy, but it's like, it's the first time I saw in the theater where it dawned on me why, because the cast is so huge,
93.
right? 93, okay. It dawned on me why you would hire certain actors for specific roles and like what they bring to the movie.
I think people often have that where there's a movie that makes them realize the art of filmmaking.
Yeah, and acting and stuff. Just like, oh, like Christian Slater brings this to the role, and like, you know, like Brad Pitt brings that to the role. Gary Oldman, for the love of God, like the whole cast is incredible. So it kind of opened my eyes in a new way to watching movies and appreciating a lot of like the writing and stuff like that. So I think those two were the first ones.
I just saw an interview with Gary Oldman. He said that character was one of his favorite characters ever to play, and that he wanted to do a spin-off movie. Can you imagine?
Should do it now. Like, what's Drexel? Oh no, he's dead. Spoiler alert.
It could be a prequel, but he's older. I had a tough time with this too. I was going to say things like Schindler's List because I think when I first saw Schindler's List, I was just like, wow, like a movie can really punch me in the gut.
Yeah.
But also be inspirational at the same time, which is not an easy thing to do.
No.
But I ended up settling on Green Mile was kind of that way too. Green Mile had like an emotional impact on me.
Yeah.
But I ended up going with this movie. I remember when, what's that movie with Ben Stiller that's a remake?
White Chicks.
No.
Walter Mitty?
Yes, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I really liked that one, and I really liked
that one too.
The themes of...
Underrated.
But that's not the one I picked.
Oh.
The one I picked was one that came a little later called Hector and the Search for Happiness with Simon Pegg, which is similar themes to Walter Mitty, but I thought did it better, and I found it really emotional and really... It kind of reaffirmed some of my views on life and living and not taking things for granted. And it's basically about this guy who he loves his wife and he's happy in his marriage, but he feels stuck. So he goes on this trip. He literally says to his wife, I'm going to travel around the world. I'm going to try and find happiness.
Right.
Like what makes you happy.
Right.
And he goes everywhere.
Pray love this bitch.
Yeah, and he goes everywhere. And part of it is he meets Stellan Skarsgård on a plane, who's a super rich businessman.
Right.
And he becomes friends with him, and he kind of facilitates part of his journey. And he goes to Africa, and all these different things happen to him that start to kind of awaken in him realizations about what life is and what happiness is. It's really good.
What's it called? Secret Life of Simon Pegg? What's it?
Hector and the Search for Happiness.
Cool. I'll forget that immediately.
It's really good.
Like Enrique
you would really like it. I'll give it to you with the hammers.
Okay.
To take home. Okay, we got to move things along. We're talking too much here.
We're rambling.
I know.
That's what we do, motherfuckers.
Too much rambling.
Eat shit.
Best long movie.
I wrote every extended Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I put Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah. I know it's hard to pick which one I like best. Yeah. It's either Return of the King or Fellowship. I love them both. I like, obviously, Two Towers.
I love all three, but I always pick Fellowship just because there's something about the balance of like it starts off light and ends up dark. whereas the other ones are kind of just dark.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I love the arc of the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so wow, we picked the same thing.
Heyo.
Next one is a movie you like but everyone hates.
I just wrote a couple that we talked about before.
Sorry, only one.
Fucking.
No, go ahead.
Halloween Kills. Love it. Don't care. Evil Dies Tonight. They should have said it more.
Good choices die today.
I just like it. Yeah, Hudson Hawk.
Good choice.
Was another good one. Bruce Willis.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Didn't we just watch that not too long ago?
Oh, it's so funny. It's such a weird fucking movie. Really
Absolutely
weird.
bizarre.
And sometimes I just like when movies are so off the wall and fucking weird that I'm just like, yeah, cool. Good like
But
good for you guys.
I get 100% pure joy from Danny Aiello in that movie.
Oh, he's so good.
He just exudes joy in that.
Yeah.
I love him.
What do you got?
I put Alien 3
Oh, right. Yeah.
because everybody hates Alien 3 and it might be my favorite one in the series.
That's right. I get that.
A movie you hate but everyone likes.
Oh God, I didn't write that one down. I must have missed that one.
Oh, way to go.
A movie I hate that everyone likes?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's hard. I don't know. What did you put first? Let me
I had a hard time, but I ended up picking Pineapple Express.
Oh, okay. Okay.
'Cause I
didn't mind it, but
I hated it.
huh.
I just hated it. I found it like insulting.
Wow. Okay. Jesus. Oh man. I wish because I was like, ooh, like
You can skip it if you can't think of anything.
I just
You
what's a
can't
movie?
think of some movie that was a hit that you were like, I don't get it.
I'm
Did
sure
you
if
hate Titanic or something.
I'm sure if I'm fine with Titanic. I don't care. I mean, it's like this could honestly tie into the overrated one for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go on then.
Okay. Well, underrated first.
Okay. Next is underrated. What's the most underrated movie?
I mean, obviously, I could be like Session 9 because I think it's just really slept on and I love it so much. And then I talked about Popstar before, which I think is vastly like just overlooked. And then I thought of this is such a random weird one. I don't know why, but Walk Hard kills me.
I love Walk Hard.
Yeah, it's so funny and not enough people talk about it.
Yeah.
I just kind of like
Not
slipped
only
under
is
the
it
radar.
hilarious, but it's a brilliantly put together parody.
Yeah.
Like
and an
really
amazing
well
cast.
done.
Amazing cast.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. So yeah, those are underrated.
That's a good one. That's a great movie.
What about you?
I put Hannibal.
Okay.
Everybody seems to like. Everybody loves Silence of the Lambs. Everybody loves the TV show.
Yeah.
A lot of people liked Red Dragon, which I think isn't great. Everybody loves Manhunter, and I just don't think Hannibal. It's like Ridley Scott, for Christ's sake, and it's Anthony Hopkins getting really his only chance to really let that character go.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore was a great Clarice.
She's a good replacement. Yeah. It just sucks that Jodie Foster
It does suck. I would have really liked to have seen her in the role. But all the stuff with the Italian detective that's after him, I love everything about Hannibal. And I think, again, it might be my favorite in the series.
Wow, really?
Which is hard to say over Silence.
Yeah.
But I think it has more repeatability to me than Silence.
Okay.
But they're very, very, very close.
It's been a really long time since I've watched Hannibal.
Brilliant.
I want to give
really
it a rewatch.
brilliant.
We just rewatched. Well, Jordan had never seen the show.
Right.
So we watched season
show
1 and
is
2.
so good.
It's fucking incredible. But then we just took a little bit of a break so that we wouldn't like rush through it to watch season 3, which we have watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and I hadn't seen season 3 yet. So going into it, I'm very
Season
excited.
3 was great.
Okay, what do we got now?
Overrated.
Avatar. I don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
don't
Like
care.
the first, they're really well done. I think the second one's better than the first one.
I didn't even see the second one.
I
'cause
enjoyed
I don't care.
it. Did you enjoyed it, right, Jay? Yeah. As an action movie, it was way better than the first one. It had cool action. It had cool adventure. But they have a weird. It's like a mist comes out of them after you watch them that makes you forget them.
100%. Yeah.
It's very strange.
Unobtainium. Fuck you.
I don't mind cheesy stuff like that.
I don't know.
That doesn't bother me.
I don't know.
but
Just
I'm-
for whatever reason, I'm just like, this is Mrs. Boring.
I'll stick with horror on overrated because there's a lot of horror movies that the horror community always goes like, oh my God, it's the best. And they're always disappointing. So Martyrs is mine because every horror fan is like, Martyrs is the best.
Yeah, there's always
The
those
story
ones.
of Martyrs is brilliant. The opening of Martyrs is brilliant. The movie itself, take it easy.
Right.
It's just not.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
Next one. Why do I like this? So I guess this would be a movie that you may not typically like, but for some reason you do.
Or just like, it's not great, but you're like,
or that,
why am I enjoying this?
Yep.
Kind of. This is a fucking weird one. Maybe I've talked about it before, and I don't really know why.
How many times is White Chicks going to come up on this list?
As many as Dylan McDermott.
Yeah.
Callback season 1. Bam, bam, bam. I'm weirdly coming around, and I know it's not good. I'm weirdly coming around to
kind of shake my head at this.
Enjoying Halloween Ends, and I don't know why. I don't know. It's not great. I
like it better than Kills.
I view that one kind of like Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
Where it's like, as a standalone, I don't mind it. As a sequel, not so much.
Yeah.
But it's that. Like, and I also wrote Anchorman 2. It's not very good, but it's so dumb that it just makes me laugh.
Right.
That I'm like, I don't know why. It's not very good, but it's like, it gives me a chuckle.
This was an easy one for me.
Okay.
Because I've never understood why I like them, but all of the Harold and Kumar movies.
Right, yeah.
Because they're so, on paper, they're movies that if you know me, Bill Howard, you know that I shouldn't like them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of stoner movies.
No.
I think that they're stupid. I think that the whole like trying to make potheads look cool is dumb.
Weed's legal now, guy. It's okay. It's mainstream, yo.
I'm just not.
It's just not. You're not the demographic.
Drug movies I don't find are funny.
Yeah,
I don't find that humor funny. But Harold and Kumar, all three of them, I worship. I love them. They make me laugh my ass off. I love how extreme they get. Like, I mean, in the Christmas one, they had a baby on coke.
Right.
Like it's South Park level humor, right?
Yeah.
And like riding the cheetah in the first one in the jungle.
Right.
They're so over the top, but I love them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with the guys.
Totally. They're both
those
great.
Two
I
guys
love both those
brilliant.
guys.
Neil Patrick Harris is brilliant in them. And I love them, but I don't know why I do because I shouldn't.
I get it. Soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
Immediately I think of The Crow.
This list is way longer than I thought it was going to be.
I know, but we'll do our best.
Yeah,
It's our first episode back.
Yeah.
The Crow and Crow City of Angels are fucking great soundtracks. I'm assuming we're not talking score.
Well, either.
I just went soundtrack. I just immediately thought that. And speaking of Queen of the Damned, that soundtrack is fucking great too.
Yeah, I remember it being great.
Scores. I don't know. It's almost, you can't, like, John Williams is the best, and you know what I mean.
I picked a score. I picked The Natural by Randy Newman.
Oh, that's great too.
Because it's always struck me as an anomaly that out of nowhere, Randy Newman does this baseball movie, and for some reason, it sounds like a superhero movie score.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And it's subtle, but it's powerful. It's like quiet, but it's bolstering.
Right.
It's weird. It's like this whole score is like contradictory to itself, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful score. I could pick like anything, John. The hairs on the back of my neck stand up if I put in the Raiders of the Lost Ark soundtrack.
Nice.
If I put in Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
Jurassic Park, the low, quiet parts of the soundtrack, to me, are beautiful.
They really are,
just beautiful.
Lord of the Rings score is incredible.
Lord of the Rings is, amazing. I just started a new playlist on my Spotify that's great scores, and I was amazed how fast I just started adding them, and all of a sudden there was like, I had 100 soundtracks in it.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, they're great. Best cinematography.
So I wrote 3 that I'll go through real quick. Crimson Peak. I try to find ones that
Crimson Peak is beautiful.
Like incredible. It looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Fury Road, of course. And more recently, which I'll maybe talk about more later, Long Legs.
Yeah.
I am fucking obsessed with Long Legs.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that movie
I'm in that club
shot
too.
Like that, it fucking seared
So are
into
you
my
going
brain.
back and watching other Osgood movies?
I'm going to.
Because his other stuff is great. His Gretel and Hansel.
I heard about that. I haven't seen it.
It's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen.
Amazing.
It's gorgeous.
Huh. Great.
Blackcoat's Daughter, his stuff's great.
Cool.
Mine was a toss-up between Interstellar.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Which I still think it is my favorite Nolan, hands down. I love that movie. And 1917, which is...
Why am I blanking?
It's a wild World War II movie.
Oh, okay.
And the whole movie's set up to look like one shot, the entire movie.
Oh, crazy.
And it's...
who's in it? Why am I...
unbelievable. There's cameos by like Benedict Cumberbatch and...
Oh, wow, okay.
But it's mainly the 2 lead guys aren't really well known.
Okay.
It's a movie that's an experience.
Huh.
It's basically about these 2 soldiers that are sent... World War I, actually.
I guess
I said 2, but it's 1.
Yeah.
These 2 soldiers are sent on a mission to basically go through enemy lines to get to this other military guy and tell him something that's important about an attack.
Okay.
And they're on their own in the middle of nowhere. And the movie never cuts from them.
That's crazy.
It's them walking
Weird.
to where they have to go and what they have to get through. And it's terrifying. It's emotional.
Wow.
It's beautifully, beautifully filmed.
When did it come out? Like how
Not long ago.
like in the last 5-10 years kind of thing?
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
You really have to see it. 2019. So it's 5 years old. And directed by Sam Mendes, who did.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
It's unbelievable. Colin Firth also has a small role.
I can't believe it's like, I don't know how I just didn't even hear about it.
Yeah. Well, maybe wasn't that one of the other questions? What's
Maybe.
something that you didn't? Anyway. 1917 is highly, highly recommended. Bad Day Cure.
The first thing that always comes to mind is Step Brothers.
Yeah.
If I'm having a
Step
bad day,
Brothers.
it's funny to me every fucking time.
Step
I know
Brothers
the
is
jokes
always
are
going to be
coming.
one of my favorite family memories when Joanne and Evie, my wife and daughter, and I watched it together. And it's like we all laughed so much. We had to pause it during the sleepwalking scene.
Oh my God. Every like line in that movie is funny. I'm never going to call him dad ever, not even if there's a fire. Like, it's so funny.
I don't think there's any movie out there that's more you
It's
in
very,
terms of sense of humor. It's
Yeah.
very you.
Yeah, like that and what Hot American Summer type humor is like
I
that.
still
just
got to show him Wet Hot American Summer.
fuck,
Jay
it's
hasn't
so
seen it
it
yet.
just hits me in the funny bone in a weird
Yeah,
way.
so good. Mine was Raising Arizona.
Oh, nice.
It's just
okay,
a
then.
comfort place for me to go, and
Yep.
the jokes in it are so brilliant. The cinematography of that one's
Yeah,
brilliant.
actually, yeah.
And I literally lose it every single time they rob the store, and William Forsythe says, "And give me some of them balloons." And the old guy behind the counter goes, "Here you go," and he goes, "Do these blow up into funny shapes?" And the guy behind the counter goes, "Not unless circular is funny." That line, oh my God. Not unless
Coens.
circular is funny. Jesus.
That's
so
amazing.
good.
Favorite protagonist?
Favorite protagonist. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Indiana Jones.
Nice.
It was a toss-up, Indiana Jones and Luke Skywalker.
I put Luke Skywalker.
You put Luke
I
Skywalker?
put Luke Skywalker and Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, but there's something... maybe it's the connection. Luke Skywalker's always been a big one for me. Superman's always been a big one for me. But I think because when I was a kid, I was obsessed with King Tut, and I wanted to be an
makes sense.
archaeologist when I was like 7.
Yeah.
I think that connection has always given Indy the edge.
Sure.
And I love that he's such a flawed character.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
I love
Indy's
him.
great. Favorite
Favorite
trilogy.
trilogy. Do we have the same one?
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
It's like, I mean, it was that or like the OG Star Wars. But honestly, I think Lord of the Rings just as movies they're perfect. They're perfect.
Yeah, I agree. And I was really close with the Matrix trilogy too. And I say trilogy because they never made a fourth one.
Yeah, can you imagine if they did? Anyway.
Oh, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Womp womp.
But yeah, and I will fight anybody who tries to tell me that the Matrix 2 and 3 are not as good as 1 because I
like 3 is my least favorite, but I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
I still like it.
Yeah.
And I love 2.
2 is one of the hands down best action-packed movies you will ever see. And I don't
it's
get why
incredible.
people...
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Biggest letdown.
Biggest letdown.
I have 2. Kinda. I have 2 that
Okay,
I can
go 2, go.
Glass is one of them.
That was mine.
That was yours?
Yeah.
No movie has ever really made me like furious.
Yeah, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know that my big thing, that's the character betrayal.
That's the character betrayal.
Character betrayal is a big, big, big thing with me. And
Yeah.
that movie, I love M. Night.
Yeah,
I'm a
we'll get into
huge
it a
M.
bit
Night.
more when we get into our M. Night episode.
But yeah, the character betrayal in that movie was insane.
And then the fucking new Crow movie that came out this year.
Right. Yeah. It was a big letdown. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I really went into it as just I'm going to see an action movie.
I'll get into that another time. I have specific reasons.
Biggest surprise.
It's I'll just like rattle off a couple really quick.
Yep.
Long Legs again. I just like it shocked because I'd seen clips first of Nick Cage.
Yeah.
So seeing that outside of the movie, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be
You're
able
like
to take
way
this.
too over the top.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
able to take it seriously. Like, and then just like in the context of the movie, I was just like, holy fuck.
And if you look up and find out where he and Oz based the character on, that makes him even scarier.
Dove all of that, yeah. Moulin Rouge was one that really, because I never really liked musicals or anything like that. And the first time I saw it, I was like, I don't think I like this. But then it's like it sat with me, and then it's like I fucking love it.
That's
now.
one of those movies that I don't use the word masterpiece lightly,
It really is.
but it's a fucking
Yeah.
masterpiece.
And Dr. Sleep is another one for me.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was.
expect
Oh,
it.
why didn't I think
I
of that
didn't
one?
expect
Yeah.
it to blow me away the way it did.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I guess it wasn't a surprise because it was Flanagan, but it was a surprise how much.
Yeah, there it is.
I had two. I put Ouija, Origin of Evil.
Hey.
Yeah, Flanagan through thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first one was all right.
It was a standard,
Like
whatever.
Sunday afternoon horror movie.
Yep.
But then this one blew my mind, made me jump out of my
comparison,
seat
for
8
sure,
times.
yeah.
It was great. And my other one was Triple X Return of Xander Cage. I hate the Triple X movies.
What hilarious. I never would have guessed.
I know. I hate them. I think they're terrible. The whole let's use extreme sports and combine that with
So
spy
silly.
movies. They're terrible.
Right.
Terrible. And then this guy I know, Tony, he was like, let's go see Triple X movie. It opened this weekend. And I'm like, I have no interest in seeing the Triple X movie. I do not want. And he's like, come on. It's my choice this week. I'll pay. And I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. So we went, and I came out of it being like, that was a fucking great action
That's
movie.
funny. Okay.
Donnie Yen's in it.
Hey,
It's
okay.
like-
Well, all right.
It's seriously, the action in it is phenomenal.
Huh.
And it doesn't do the extreme. It's just really good.
That's awesome.
It's 80s style. It's like over the top, but it's awesome.
Nice.
Not the best, but
fun.
having fun.
Real quick, the Wolfman remake. It's not my favorite, but I still have a great time watching it.
I loved it.
And I wrote most of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
They're dumb as fuck, but I love them.
Yeah.
Like I
But
have
they're
so
dumb
much
as
fun.
fuck on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They know what they're making.
Yeah.
Like there's no way they're like, I think this is a really great, like driving this car in space. I think this is really realistic and awesome.
Yeah.
It's like I have so much fun watching them. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mine is a strange one that you might not expect, but it's this kind of rom-com called How to Be Single.
Okay.
It had Rebel Wilson and Dakota Johnson and Leslie Mann and Allison Brie
Wow.
as friends. And it's just about them navigating the dating world. And it's
Interesting.
really funny.
Huh.
And it's really well done. And I was just shocked how much I liked it.
Nice.
It was really good. And I mean, it's not going to win any awards, but you just don't expect that from a movie like that. It was really good.
Wow.
Criminally Overlooked.
2 really quick. The Tall Guy, Jeff Goldblum
Oh my
comedy
God,
from the
good
80s.
choice.
Incredible movie. So funny. Rowan Atkinson's in it.
And Emma Thompson,
And Emma Thompson. Yes, thank you.
who's hilarious in it.
So good. She's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And then this is a weird choice. I don't know why I thought of it, but The Gift. I think it called The Gift.
It's
the
coming
Sam
out on
Raimi?
4K this fall.
The Sam Raimi one
Yeah.
with Billy Bob Thornton
Yeah.
and Bill Paxton.
Brilliant.
Keanu, one of his best performances
As a bad guy.
as a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. And it's like supernatural and
It's a brilliant movie. Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. Oh, Jesus Christ. I couldn't believe it. Okay, yeah.
Kate Blanchett can't go wrong.
She's incredible.
Mine's Pontypool.
Yeah.
Criminally underrated.
Yep. Not enough people talk about it.
Yep. Okay, we got to move things along.
Yeah.
Depressing movie, but I love it.
Hereditary.
Yeah.
Hereditary is one. Leaving Las Vegas is another one also that's very
Yeah.
depressing. It's great.
Mine immediately came to mind. House of Sand and Fog with Jennifer Connelly
shit.
and Ben Kingsley.
Oh God, yeah, it's been a long.
Super
I have seen
depressing,
it, but
brilliantly made, and some of the best acting I've ever seen in a movie.
wow, it's been a long time. Favorite director?
favorite
Should we say it at
director.
the same time? Flanagan.
No, I said Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, okay.
But I had Alive and Dead.
Oh, okay.
So Hitchcock was my Dead. Alive, actually, I picked Spielberg
Okay.
just because of the breadth of work.
I suppose.
But I mean, Flanagan's in my top 10.
Yeah.
He's probably right after those guys.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Kubrick could be in there too. But yeah, Hitchcock is always mine. Yours? Was it Flanagan?
Yeah, Flanagan.
Yeah? Okay.
Because he's the first one that popped in my brain. So
Right. Favorite animated film?
I wrote Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Because I fucking love that. And then that Legends, the Guardians,
Of Ga'Hoole? The one with the
No,
owls?
not the fucking owl one. The you know what I'm talking about with Jack Frost and
Rise of the Guardians.
Rise of the Guardians. That's it.
It's his favorite, but he doesn't
Yeah.
remember the title.
Oh, and
folks.
sorry, also just because we watched it last night and I always forget how incredible it is. Paranorman.
Yeah, Paranorman's brilliant.
It's so funny.
It's
and
great.
there's so many funny like things in it that I'm like, how do they kind of get away with this? Like,
Yeah.
like the cop is like takes the gun away from the pedestrian. They're like, don't just like shoot like randomly into a crowd, that's what cops are for or something. And I was like, Jesus. Yeah. And I don't know. They're just funny things. Because it's in Salem and there's a hot dog place called Witchy Wieners, and the W burns out, and Itchy Wieners funny. It's like fucking, it's something
So
for kids,
good.
but it's so good too. It's very emotional. The animation's amazing. I fucking love Paranorman. That's
It is
also
great.
underrated.
It is awesome.
You.
Mine's Iron Giant.
Oh yeah.
Iron Giant's
It's a perfect movie.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then our last one is not usually my thing, but I love it.
That's the one I couldn't think of anything.
My answer was everything is my thing.
That's so funny.
Because I mean, I don't limit myself to a particular genre or a particular. I just told you I loved Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's off limits for me. So, so I would never say that there's something I'm not going to watch.
Yeah, there's like, it's funny because there's like genres that I'm not like pulled to, you know, like I don't, for whatever reason, I'm not pulled to like Westerns. I'm not super pulled to mob movies,
You
but
should
it's
be
like,
pulled to Westerns. There's some really good ones.
that's the thing though. It's like, you know, I remember I saw not Unbreakable, fucking Clint Eastwood, the big
Unforgiven.
one. Thank you. I knew it was something.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like there's obviously great ones in there,
Yep.
but for
No, I
whatever
get
reason, it doesn't pull me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one I was just like, I couldn't think of anything to answer.
Yeah.
So nothing. I have no answer.
Yeah, that's all right. I think that's good. I think that shows versatility to say it's not my thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
Because it's really a real film fan is going to be open to anything. If there's like, you're not into Westerns, but if I told you I just watched this movie and it was like the best Western I've ever seen, you're probably going to give it a shot.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's valid.
yeah.
Well,
Right on.
hopefully this led everybody out there to get a little more insight into what we're all about, what
Yeah.
we dig, what we're into, what we're looking for. And, you know, by all means on social media, give us some of your answers to these questions too. We'd love to hear them and maybe find out some movies we haven't seen that we should be checking out.
Yes. Do you have any like recommendations or anything like you've seen recently that you liked? Or
Yeah, a standout for me was the Netflix movie Rebel Ridge.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Unbelievable.
A lot of people
it's
talking
kind
about
of it's kind of First Bloody, but the lead guy in it, and I'm so bad with names, especially of newer.
He's a newer kind of actor, I think. He was just cast as the Jon Stewart Green
Aaron
Lantern.
Pierre is
Right.
the lead, and it's one of the single best performances I've seen in years.
I've seen clips, and it's like he seems like one of those actors that's like magnetic.
Oh, he jumps off the screen.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Don Johnson's in it.
Yep.
He's great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it takes it places you're expecting it to go and then doesn't.
Right.
And it's really interesting that way, but I loved it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just finally saw that Boy Kills World movie.
Yeah.
And it was fun as
I
fuck.
loved it.
The fights are
Jay
like,
and I both loved it.
I was shocked, and it had some like cool kind of twists and stuff that I
Yep.
didn't expect. And yeah, I was just like really, really happy with the movie.
Yeah, and
It
when I
was
saw
fun as
trailers
hell.
and stuff, I thought it looked like I wasn't going to like it because
Right.
it kind of looked like it might go a little too cheese, a little too heavy.
Yeah.
And it didn't at all. It was really well done and super fun.
Really good. The fights are
There's a new, I'll double recommend, there's a new Dave Bautista movie. I think it's on VOD right now called The Killer's Game.
okay.
And it's kind of
right.
not to the extreme of Boy Kills World, but it's that kind of like over the top. Like all the blood and gore in it is CG and obviously CG, but the movie plays very comic booky. So it kind of works because it
Interesting.
feels like a moving graphic novel.
Neat. Weird.
But Batista's amazing in it. He's a hitman who finds out that he's going to die. So he puts a hit out on himself.
Weird. Okay.
For reasons that you have to see the movie to find out why he goes that route.
Right.
And then the people that are going to kill him end up going after this woman he loves, who is Sophia Boutella, who I love. And it's the action and it's fantastic. I mean, Batista can do no
He's
wrong
amazing.
in my
I love
eyes.
that
But
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good recommendation.
Cool. Well, there we go.
All right, cool.
Season 2. We're off to a
Season
long
one.
start.
Yeah, season 2. So welcome back, everybody.
Yay.
And we're happy to be back. And we got some good surprises coming in before the end of the year for you guys, and then right into next year.
Right on.
So you signing us off with anything, or we're just going to say season 2 is just going to be Lee saying goodbye?
Yeah. Goodbye. I forgot to do like sign off things, so I was just like randomly like looking up celebrity impressions on TikTok and stuff. I mean, not celebrity impressions, real celebrities that we're gonna
Of course.
bring in here.
Yep.
Like, That one's not even this.
It's easy to get celebrities in here because our head office is here in Burbank, California.
Think of like micro impressions, like just really fast ones.
Okay.
Like, and this is not even good now, and I've built it up. It's terrible. Hey, Jay-Z, do you like The Real Ramblers? Yeah. Wow, that was really him.
Oh, that was
And
awesome.
now he's got to go to island somewhere, probably because of the P. Diddy stuff. Anyway,
yeah. All right. Well,
that's in the news. It's topical.
We'll just cut it off right there. See you next week. I almost said see you next folks week, just like I did last season.
All right, that's
See
it
you
for
next
season
week,
2,
folks.
Thanks for listening to The Real Ramblers. Follow us on Instagram at Real Ramblers. That's REEL Ramblers. And you can follow Lee at Lee Howard _art and Bill at JustTheBill1138.